Do you wish somebody wrote down the recipe for your parenting challenges? Did you want tips and tricks to become a better mama for you and your babies? I know I do. If you're a mother who feels that you are doing the best you can with the hands you've been dealt, but you're still getting it done, then this podcast is for you. I'm so glad you tuned in to Nailed It Motherhood, because we might have the recipe that nobody wrote down. What's up, everybody? You're listening to Nailed It Motherhood Podcast, and I'm your host with the most, Tamara Eldridge. Listeners, I want to thank you all for following me this far. I'm super excited about where this podcast is going, and I'm just elated that, I have so many moms who have so much talent and who have so many personal journeys that are amazing and they want to share on this platform. So, if you are interested in staying in the know, please do not forget that we have a website. It is called www.naileditmotherhood.com. There is a place where you can subscribe to the website so that you are always getting updates and any information. I want to go big with the website, but I'm waiting for a certain number of subscribers before I do it. So make sure you check it out. Now, let's hop right into the episode, because I am super pumped about my guest today. Sometimes you're related by blood, and sometimes you're related by choice. And our guest today is related because her mom chose my family and vice versa. I have only known her as my cousin. If you look back at the pictures, you can understand why we thought we were real cousins. Today, we'll probably get a little heavy as we both share a trauma bond of raising our daughters without our moms. But our daughters have also reconnected us again, and I am so glad to be interviewing my cousin. So mamas, grandmas, papas, and the village, I am honored and elated at the same time to welcome to the Nailed It Motherhood platform my friend, my cousin, Janiene Taylor. Maybe she has a good recipe for us today. Welcome to the show, girl.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm blown away. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited. We've come a long way, and look at us now.
Look at us, honey. We've been through some things. We done made up some words while we were walking out in Florida, all types of things. We have a ball. But Janiene, I thank you because you really always show up. You're amazing. And I am going to be able to tell the beautiful listeners just how amazing you are when I read your bio. So listeners, here's a little taste of who Janiene Taylor is. From an early age, Janiene Taylor, founder of Justice for Joy, has understood the importance of faith over fear. After losing her mother as a young girl, Janiene was forced to navigate the world while facing obstacles and pains no child should ever have to endure. Despite ups and downs, she developed her inner strength, leading her to launch a successful career and family life. She opened her own beauty salon, specializing in natural, healthy hair, became a mother to 3 beautiful girls. Might I add, they are spicy: Jace, Joelle, and Justice, and even began fostering youth in Youngstown, Ohio. Janiene strives to be a source of faith, hope, and support for those in her community, especially her Justice for Joy family. She remains dedicated to easing the burden for those mothers and families who find themselves worn down by the realities of NICU life. When she embarked on her journey years ago, Janiene could not have predicted how she would be led to her purpose, but she remains humbled and grateful for the opportunity to help those in need. With that being said, again, I want to welcome this fabulous mama to the platform. Janiene, I'm going to give you your flowers now because, girl, you are doing it and you are doing it big.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Janiene, every episode I do a Tavi tale. And that Tavitel is just me being able to connect to my listeners. And I wanted to share this Tavitel with you in particular because you were there for a part of it. So recently, I saw a post the other day on social media, and the mom was asking, it doesn't really matter that she was a mom, but she was asking for songs that make you happy. And I gave her this big list of random songs. It had R&B, it had pop, it had gospel. And one of the songs that I chose was, "Oh, I Want to Dance with Somebody." And I thought about it because after I said it, the next day I was like, oh, my list was crazy. But then I was like, "Dance with Somebody" is a song that I truly, truly love. And I started playing that song when Tavia was like, couldn't even walk, but was learning how to stand up. So I saw Tavia's personality when she was like early. I can't even tell you the first time I was like, oh my gosh, my child is going to be a nut job. But I knew immediately. But I used to sing this song when she was a baby, just rock out. Like she couldn't move much, but she was in there just kicking her little legs and just smiling. And "Dance with Somebody" was one of her favorite songs. So fast forward to about 1, 2, when she could talk enough to want to request this song, we would listen to it in the car. And homegirl would go hard. Like I would just hear her back there singing in the back. And she just loved that song. And it made me happy when she started requesting that song because it was just an awesome song to listen to. And she liked it herself. So I wanted to share that because in Florida, when we all went on our family vacation, that's my go-to karaoke song. I don't know why I choose that one because it's very, very hard to sing, but it is fun to sing and it just gets me moving. And Tavia was right beside me dancing like my little backup dancer. And I don't know if you remember that vacation, but it was amazing. We had fun. I remember having the girls that night when everybody went out, and I chose to babysit to give Tiffany a break from being the vacation babysitter. And your girls are hilarious. I think I tell you this all the time, but they're hilarious. And I just remember that thought the other day, knowing that I'm coming in. Like, I love all the moments that we're creating with our kids.
Yes.
They're awesome. Like we have your kids who are all characters.
Mm-hmm.
Characters, man. When I tell you, then we got Ryan, who is also a character, but also like a 60-year-old woman at the same time. And also like a comedian, and she'll hit you real fast with the wit. And then we have Tavia, who embodies everybody and is the busybody of the group, amazingly, right? But I love the relationship that we're building. So I just wanted to share that with our listeners because I know you know how crazy our girls are. But when we get together, we have fun. And I love it. Well, let's move on from talking about our babies.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about you a little bit. Now is the time where we are walking into our herstory segment. And I want to give you the floor so that you can share a little bit about your personal journey with our listeners. So I'm going to shut my mouth and let you have it.
So before I tell my story, see, I knew we were related. My favorite song is the same thing as Tavia's. "I Want to Dance with Somebody." When I was getting married, we had a whole dance, and we did it at the reception. When we went out, it played at the bar just randomly, and we did a whole presentation or dance at the bar as well. So yeah, that's my go-to song as well. So a little bit about me. Whew. This has been a journey for sure. Was born January 4th, 1988. I am the only child of my mother. I am the baby of my dad's kids. Me and my mom, we were tight. We were close. We did everything together. I always like to say we were like Bobby and Whitney, how she was with her daughter and how Bobby was with her mom. I protected her. She protected me, but I had an amazing childhood. Some things I've seen that weren't too great. But other than that, my mom did an amazing job raising me. I lost her when I was 10 years old. That was a life-changing experience, and that mapped out like almost the rest of my life, even up to now. And how I think, how I raise my kids, how I operate in life. So that had a very lasting effect on my life. I became a mom to three beautiful girls in that process. After my first child, I got married. I started my career as a hairstylist, owning my salon, building that up. And then God blessed me with the vision to start a nonprofit after my youngest child, Justice, was in the NICU for 30 days. So throughout this journey, it's been rough. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of just having to be strong when you don't want to be strong, and having to push through when you feel alone and don't know who you could talk to. But I'm here. I'm still making it. And each day I'm learning to take it day by day.
I heard you say there's a lot of having to be strong when you don't want to be strong. That has been my life, even before Tavia. Can you elaborate on what makes you keep going and what makes you stay strong when you really you don't have it in you and you don't feel like you want to?
I would talk before I had kids. I just always have this vision of my life, and that's what kept me strong. Like I really didn't have much motivation because it was just me at the time, but I held on to my dreams, my goals, and I knew I wanted to be big, not, famous big, but I wanted to do big things for myself, for my community, for my family and my friends. But when I started having kids, they became my motivation. But then it also became harder to be strong because now I have to really get up and do these things for myself and my kids. But some days when I don't want to be strong, I just want to be in bed. I just want to be left alone. I want to cry. I want to give up. I don't want nobody to talk me out of it. I don't want no prayers. I just want to be like just alone and just to myself in my own head and my thoughts. And sometimes that's not good. It's not healthy, especially if you're taking it in a negative way. But sometimes life just gets you like that. And it's like it's uncontrollable. But my kids right now are my motivation. I still have the same goals. I still have the same dreams, but now I fight extra hard because of them, because I want them to be somebody. I don't want them to carry on any generational curses and things like that. So it's my job and my duty to break those curses and to show them a different light and how to handle stress in life.
That's good. Do you feel like you may have started to feel that way once you lost your mom? I know when you were 10, that's really early in life to have to remember maybe when these thoughts started coming. But do you feel like that was a major factor of why you just wanted to be in the bed all day and you just didn't want to be bothered?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Back then, I didn't know. Of course, throughout my school years and growing up after my mom passed away, I was sad, I was crying, but it didn't really hit me until literally I walked across the stage of graduating high school. And it was just at that moment when I realized, like, wow, she's really not here. She really didn't show up. And my depression kicked in. Everything just kicked in at that moment. June 2006, I remember walking across that stage, and it was just like, it hit me. It hit me that she wouldn't be returning back. And so when I get in those moments, it's because I really want to talk to her. And I do have other people that I can talk to and reach out to, but it's not mom. So if it's not mom, then I don't want to talk to anybody. And I'm grateful for my village. I'm grateful for my family and my friends, and it's hard to explain to them why I don't come to them. But I've been like this, I've been dealing with this by myself for so many years that this is just how I get. And I still get like this, almost, I just had an episode like last week, so it's still recent, and I just want to be left alone. I have questions that I want to ask her. I want to understand some things because we're going through the same thing. My mom went through divorce and things like that and raising me single, and here I am, and she's not here, so I can, ask her some questions. So yeah, definitely not having my mom here plays a big role of why I shut down.
Yeah. I'm trying so listeners, in case you didn't understand, I typically meet up with my guests before we actually do our recording session. And Janiene and I both talked about this being one of the focuses, just one, because Janiene has so many things to offer as a person and a mother. But this is one that we knew was going to come up because we share this connection. This is a horrible connection to have to share, but it is a trauma bond that we have because we are both raising daughters. She has 3 daughters. So imagine Tavia times 3. And we both don't have our source, like probably our rock to go to when we need it the most. And I get it, Janiene. Like, I feel like sometimes I get angry, not necessarily at her, because she doesn't decide when her last breath is.
Right.
But I get angry because it's like, this is unfair. I know I wouldn't have to fight so hard and find this strength so fast had I been able to call my mom and say, Mom, can you please come and get her? Or can you please help me through this? How did you handle this when I did this? Like, these are questions that we'll never be able to get answered. And it does break my heart sometimes, most times, because, like, it also breaks my heart that my child is a piece of my mom.
Yes.
And they will never be able to connect.
Yep.
They won't be able to connect. Do your kids ask about your mom a lot?
They don't. I don't talk to my kids about my mom. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just weird to me. And I just don't know why. And I have a 12-year-old, 8-year-old, and 6-year-old, and they're very sensitive to anything around them. And they know when I cry or when I miss my mom, they understand that part. Just recently, I had a picture of my mom, and they were like, so would that be my grandma? And it's just like trying to explain to them. It breaks my heart. So I'm still not strong in that area to even talk about her, to even mention her. The other day, my daughter wanted a Chilean jacket, and I have my mom's Letterman's jacket in my basement. I forgot it was there, but my oldest daughter remembered, and she went downstairs on FaceTime with her godmom, and she was like, will I get a jacket like this when I get, in high school? And my daughter's godmom was like, well, what is that? She was like, this is my grandma's jacket from high school. So to hear them even say grandma breaks me down. Because she's not here. They don't know much about her. So yeah, that whole situation, I'm still I don't know how to address it. Even though they understand and they get it, they've wrote me letters on her birthday. I do acknowledge that today is her birthday, or, things like that. And they'll write letters and things like, or make a TikTok video. My oldest daughter made a TikTok video, and she said, today is my grandma's birthday. And so just to hear them say my grandma, it means a lot to me, but it still just like tears me up.
I will never forget the funeral because it broke my heart to see you so broken. And I didn't even quite understand. We were 10.
Right.
Like, I didn't quite understand what that meant, but I will never forget. And just watching you grow up, as I grew up, it's not, right. I'm talking to you like, baby, I remember when, yes, I remember when we were growing up. And I was so in awe of who you were becoming despite your loss. So like I said, I always want to give you your flowers, and I gave you your flowers, but I want to acknowledge the strength that you feel like you don't feel sometimes is exuding out of you, because I can't imagine too many people that would be able to do what you're doing right now. I know adults who still can't handle the loss and can't move on, and they use it as an excuse for everything. But you said it earlier that losing your mom has made you map out the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Mhm.
What does that look like?
So as far as being a mom, it becomes challenging because my mom was, she stayed at home because she was sick, but she had businesses within our home. She sold, she cooked and sold dinners and things like that. So, but having her there, like dinner was done. She was able to attend all my events at school because she was retired from the Air Force. She had to retire early because she became ill, but she was able to just be there. And so as a mom, I feel like I just have to be there. I never want a moment where my kids are like, well, mom, you weren't there. And I never want to say because I was at work or this and that. So I always I ask God to please allow my life to be available for my kids whenever they need me. I don't, as an entrepreneur, we don't have PTOs or I don't have to request things like that. So I'm grateful for that gift that God gave me. And that allows me to show up for my kids. So that's how I am every day. I just show up for my kids. I'm available for them. If like my little one, she was sick last week and I was able to stay home with her. And that's something that my mom did. And sometimes it can handicap me in a way because I feel like I want to do more, but because of I have to be there for my kids every minute, every second. I kind of like stay in my little lane of just being available for my kids like my mom was for me. And sometimes it's challenging when I do want to do more for the community, do more for my family and venture off a little bit, but this is my life and yeah, this is my life. Sorry, I had a little emotional moment for a minute. But I make sure that we do trips. Me and my mom did trips. We any little special moment that we did outside the house, I make sure that I do for my kids. It's very important that I do that because when I'm gone, all they have is those memories. And so that's all I have of my mom, are the memories that we went skating, at the park, feeding the ducks, traveling to Latrobe, PA. So I always make sure that I give my kids the best life that I can. And I show up, I'm present, I'm doing activities like I'm a camp leader. But that's important to me. It's very important to me that I spend as much time as I can with them.
Yes. And I mean, it's evident. If you know Janiene, you know she's really, really in the community, but she is about her babies first and foremost. I love it. I love watching it. I love the relationship that her kids have with each other. I love the relationship that her kids have with her. She's killing the game. And I know it's hard, but because I do know you do get some time for yourself, can you give moms some wisdom on being able to balance it?
Oh, yeah. I make sure I give time to myself, whether it's sitting in the Walmart parking lot for hours. Any of my friends would tell you that when they call, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, sitting in the parking lot. That's my me time. I used to do it in the garage, but they'll open up the door and then start knocking on the windows. But I will go sit in the parking lot and just sit for hours on my phone, playing solitary, getting my thoughts together, answering emails, texting people back. I do my pedicures, get my nails done, my hair done. I take trips as much as I can. It's still hard for me to be away from the kids because I have that separation anxiety. I always want them with me in case something happened. I'm like, well, at least we'll all be together. But I do. You have to take time out for yourself to clear your mind so that you can be the best version for yourself and for your kids. So I definitely almost at least once a week, like that's a non-negotiable for me, is I have to do something, whether it's reading a book, sit in the bathroom with the door locked, but you have to do it because you need that time to just slow down, think about what's going on, think about yourself. Did you take care of yourself today? Did you make the doctor's appointment for yourself, not just your kids? Did you do any follow-up appointments? Just checking your mental, your health, physically, spiritually. So yeah, I have nailed that. The self-care thing, yeah, I nailed that.
I nailed it. So I'm laughing, but you said keywords about doctors. One thing we as moms do sometimes, we neglect ourselves. And the first thing I think from experience and from watching other moms and from even doing it myself, one of the first things we neglect is our doctor's appointments. And at the end of the day, if we spend all the time in the world with our kids, but we don't know what's going on with our body, we are robbing them and ourselves of our whole selves, because anything could be going on with our body. Just because we don't know and we don't feel it doesn't mean that things are happening.
Right.
And I believe I've lived that experience pre-Tavia, and I have to beat myself up more and more because I have to remind myself I will be no good if I can't get up and walk. I will be no good if I am dying to diabetes and don't know it. I will be no good if I'm not taking my blood thinners because of pride or because I'm too busy and Tavia has to do this and I have to get her here and I have to get her here and I can't make the time for myself. So that is a part of self-care. I'm trying to find the right word. It's a nuisance part of self-care, but it's necessary if we want to be there for our babies. So I appreciate you talking about the appointments and the follow-ups, and not just for our kids. So yes, we do have to sacrifice some time to make that happen. But if we don't make it happen, we could be putting ourselves in a dangerous situation.
Absolutely.
And I also wanted to go back to what you were saying about just making yourself available to them. I remember our vacations. They were fun. And that I have to give kudos to my grandmother for that, because Grandma and Grandpa made sure everybody was on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
They made sure of it. If we said we couldn't go, well, why can't you go?
Yep.
Well, let's try to make it happen. Now, I didn't know that till I was a little bit older, that they were, helping us out when we needed it. But if a family member said they couldn't make it because of finances, okay, let's make it happen. It was important to them, and it still is to this day, which is why we can proudly say that we're all getting together still as adults. Like, it's hard sometimes because we have different personalities and everybody has an opinion. When it comes to our family, the Jones family is very opinionated. But the Jones family is also very passionate about everything they do, and they also love the family regardless of, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And Janiene can attest. She's been in the family. She ain't going nowhere. We're on our way to having a Valentine's Day event coming up soon, so that's exciting. But that's going to be a lot of personalities at the brunch table. But it's necessary and we all need it. So when we can get together, we absolutely do get together, and we bring our kids with us. So
it just adds to everything else.
Everything else. Y'all coming? Okay, come on. Because let's be honest, our babysitters are right in the room with us.
Right.
That's why we need mommy. Mommy, I need you.
Yes.
No, but I appreciate that, because I think we just have fun, like just living our lives as parents and staying connected with each other, because we hold each other up. Not just me and Janiene, but our family. Our families hold each other up, but it all stems from the mama. That's usually where it starts.
Yes.
Let's talk about Justice for Joy a little bit. Can you briefly share a little bit more about what Justice for Joy is about? Because this has become not only your life, what do I want to say? I don't want to say purpose, because it's not your whole purpose, but it is a big part of who you are. This has become a task, not task, that sounds tedious. This has become an assignment for you. But also your kids play a real big part in this. So can you talk about Justice for Joy just a little bit before we move on to having a little fun with you?
Yep. So, Justice for Joy is my little baby. Actually, my little baby, Justice, she was born June 7th. We had a pretty good pregnancy. They did try to diagnose her with having Turner syndrome, but she was born perfectly fine. Now, her only issue was that she was born with jaundice. And where I was at, the lights weren't strong enough to help her belly Reuben. So they life flighted her to Pittsburgh, Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. And from there, everything just went spiraling downhill. We get there. I got there like 3 days later because I was dealing with high blood pressure. I go to try to get her discharged, and she had contracted an infection called umbilitis, which is an infection of your umbilical cord. And thank God they caught the infection just in time it hit her bloodstream. But she had to get a series of IVs running like every other hour. She had to get her foot pricked like almost every two. So everybody was in and out the room like every hour, every other 2 hours or things like that. But from there, I was in there for 30 days. I sent my family back home to Youngstown. So Pittsburgh and Youngstown is about an hour, 20, 30 minutes, depending on where you're going. So that was the longest I've ever been away from my kids, was 30 days. And I'm in the room with Justice, and everything's going pretty good, but I'm anxious. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to bring my baby home, and I'm in there by myself. I don't have no one to talk to. And like I stated earlier, if I can't talk to my mom, I'm really not talking to anybody. But during my hospital stay, being alone in that room, I never received any type of help or resources. I didn't have a caseworker. In fact, the caseworker showed up the day I was being discharged. I didn't know to ask for a caseworker. I had a janitor, a Black janitor, who helped me position the baby right for breastfeeding. I had another Black janitor come in and tell me that I should be receiving tickets for my meals instead of paying cash because I breastfed. Now, none of the nurses, none of the nurse practitioners, or any of the health professionals told me any of those things. So after being discharged, probably about a month later, I had a dream. And it was God telling me to start a nonprofit. And I'm like, now, God, I do things in the back. But he gave me the logo, which was a sun and a rainbow. He gave me the name. He gave me the vision for it, and I just went on and did it. And I said, well, why am I doing this? And he said, you're going to base this nonprofit based on your experience as a Black mom in a NICU, and the things that you didn't receive and that you needed, you're going to now be able to bless others. So I didn't have, I paid for my meals. So as a nonprofit, we pay for at least about 50 meal tickets. Even if the mom breastfed or don't breastfeed, we like to make sure that the mom has, a meal. And sometimes financially that can be hard. We give care packages. My dad drove up after driving over the road as a truck driver. He drove another hour up to Pittsburgh, and he took me to the store. I got deodorant, lotion, toothpaste, snacks, socks, a blanket, because they don't provide those things for you in the hospital. It's just for the baby. And the gift shop is outrageous, the prices. So in our care package that we send to our NICU moms are all the items that I received from my dad. I put into our bags, crossword puzzles, snacks. So I pack our bags with love, and it comes from a very sincere and passionate place of my heart, because those items is what got me through those 30 days. I like to be a voice advocate for the moms in case they don't know how to talk, because I didn't know what to say to the doctor. So our nonprofit offers, having an advocate there for you. We offer counseling, because eventually after the NICU, I did go into counseling. So everything that I went through, I received outside of the NICU by my father as well, is how I created, or how God gave me the vision of how Justice for Joy should be for our community.
Wow. First, let me start by saying, Pittsburgh, I'm sick right now. Like 30 days, she and her premature baby were in the hospital, and nothing came of it unless a janitor, a Black janitor, mentioned it. What is up with that? Like, thank God for your obedience.
Yeah.
because had you not been obedient, you may not have shared your experience. And you sharing your experience on many more platforms than Nailed It Motherhood podcast has exposed the disregard that the hospital had for you as a Black mom.
Yeah.
I only wonder, do they treat everybody like this? Or was it just because you're Black? Because for those who don't know, Pittsburgh is very much still dealing with racist behaviors and racist mentalities. It's better than a lot of the places outside of Pittsburgh if you go east, which is where I grew up. But there's still divide. And it's disgusting that only, 6 years ago?
Yep.
7 years ago? About 6 or 7, because Justice is now...
She's 6, so yeah, 6 years ago.
That's disturbing. And I'm angry. And I've heard the story before. I've heard it many times before. I am a part of the board
Yeah.
for the organization. But yeah, I've heard the story. And every time I hear that a Black mom has been mistreated, it makes me sick. But if you also are sick about this, you can donate to Justice for Joy, because Justice for Joy is still doing their part.
Yes,
The care packages are still being made. Moms are reaching out consistently. Justice for Joy is out in the streets, and not just in Youngstown, Ohio, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Justice for Joy is being invited to speak. Justice for Joy is being invited to host baby showers. Justice for Joy is stepping up for where Pittsburgh and hospitals like them have lacked.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for being the advocate and for showing people how to advocate for themselves. And I know we haven't officially talked about this, but I think that we need to be raising up ambassadors in different cities to be that voice for Justice for Joy, but mainly for Black moms who are experiencing situations like this, because this shouldn't be an issue. Why are we always putting Black moms last in healthcare? That's a problem.
It's a big problem. And it started years ago with our ancestors, the slaves and things like that. So it just keeps happening. It's still happening all across the world.
And we have to change it. So Nailed It Motherhood supports Justice for Joy and all of the advocacy that it's doing.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I hate to slide to the fun part after that heavy piece, but Justice for Joy is not heavy. Justice for Joy is killing the game. So let's move on. Tea time. Okay. Tea time is a game of rapid fire. I've come up with a bunch of questions. Some of them are deep. Some of them are just for fun. Janiene was given access to the questions. We don't know how much time she actually had to look at all of them, but that's okay because she doesn't know what questions she's going to get anyway. Janiene, don't be nervous, honey. Answer them honestly and wait for the timer. She will have 3 minutes to answer as many questions as she can and give us a little insight into who she is. So, listeners, are you ready? Yeah. Janiene, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get started. First question. Name one of your favorite moments with your kids. Just one.
Oh, when I took them to Florida for their birthday. Their birthdays are all in the same week of June, and I surprised them with a trip to Florida. We stayed for a whole week, and that was like one of my biggest accomplishments as a single mom.
Yes, baby. How do you want to be remembered?
For my love and compassion, for my heart for the community, for my heart for my kids, My character and everything I stand for.
Awesome. What age was your favorite birthday?
I would say 21. Went to Ohio State and yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Went to a wild college party.
Do you enjoy speaking with strangers?
I do. I learned so much from speaking from strangers. A lot that I learned in my adulthood has came from strangers.
Yes. Introvert or extrovert?
Ew, depending on the mood. But I would say introvert.
Coffee or tea?
Oh, tea. Love tea.
Do you have a favorite weekend activity?
Sleeping. I love to sleep.
Because you don't ever get a weekend. Is the glass half full or half empty?
Oh, baby, it's about half empty. Half empty.
What's one thing you want to hear as a mom?
You are doing a good job, because that's all we can do is try.
Yes. At what age did you decide you wanted to become a mom, if at all?
I think after my mom passed away, so about 10. Yeah.
What emoji do you use the most?
What's that emoji with the little cricket face?
Confused or like, really, bro?
Maybe like really broke confused. I always use that a lot because I'm always doing something crazy. So I'll put that little emoji like, oops. But yeah, that's my favorite emoji.
Describe your life with a song.
It will be Faith Evans Again. If you listen to that song, yeah.
What's your favorite flower?
Sunflower.
Nice. Probably the last question. What age would you choose to be for the rest of your life and why?
30. Because it's like you're young, but you're grown. So it's like that middle for me.
A lot of people pick 30, and that is actually my favorite age.
Yep.
That's been my favorite birthday. I don't know if it's my favorite age yet, but it's a good age.
I don't remember what I did for my birthday, but yeah, I want to go back to 30.
Well, that was fun, and you did good. So you were nervous for nothing, girl.
I know. Those were some good questions.
Well, thank you. So this is the time when we wrap it up a little bit. I've been thanking you for everything that you do because, like, I just admire you as my cousin. So I think that you're fierce. I think that you're absolutely fabulous. I think that you are inspirational and you're contagious. Like, because you surround yourself with people who believe in you and you don't stop believing in yourself, even when you feel down, you continue to just do whatever it is that you put your mind to it. That's the kind of person that I feel like I am. And that's the kind of person that I want to be connected to. Yeah. So I thank you for constantly going. And like you said, sometimes you just want to be up in the bed and you don't want to be bothered, which is 120,000% understandable because I'm like that sometimes too. But you don't ever stop because you have a family that is watching you. You have an audience that is watching you. You have an organization that is watching you. So you understand when it's time to shut it down and you understand when it's time to push and be the change that is necessary. So I appreciate you. I thank you for coming on and sharing so much of what you do and who you are. I'm hoping that listeners might have a vision that is dormant in their minds, and maybe you've encouraged them to just go ahead and follow through. So thank you for coming. Thank you for being who you are. At this time, I want to ask if you have any words of wisdom or advice that you would like to share with moms out there. So I'm going to give you the floor and you can go ahead and share anything that you would like to share.
Yes, but I have to return it back to you. Thank you for having me. It has been and all to see your journey all up to now. This has been one of the most professional settings I've had with the emails and things like that. So I pray that God blesses your business. I pray that he blesses this podcast to change other women, mom, single, married, any walks of life. I pray that this goes far. Thank you for your words. Your words that you have said during this segment has touched me. It has deeply touched me. This is about a month ago. About going on a month. Mommyhood, motherhood, the hood has been rough. So your words has definitely healed some wounds that I've experienced. So thank you so much. So to the listeners, to my mommies, give yourself grace. We don't talk about grace enough. We do so much in the day. We try to meet the school events. We try to do the extra activities, cook, clean, laugh on the phone a little bit, talk to our kids, run errands, grocery shop. We try to do everything. And sometimes we are too hard on ourselves. I'm speaking to myself right now. Grace yourself. Give yourself grace. You can't do everything in the world. We're not meant to do everything in one day. We have to take it day by day, one day at a time. Ask for help. I know it's easier said than done, but speak up and ask for help, and ask those that that you trust with your kids, your life, your secrets, and things like that. You have to build a village around you that you can call on even when you don't even know the words to say. Your village should be able to pick up on your energy. When you don't know what to say, your village should be able to pick up on the way you're moving and operating. They should be able to just know when they need to step in without you asking. So make sure you are very careful who you pick around you, who you have around your energy, your spirit, and your kids. Grace yourself. Just one word, grace.
Grace. Girl, okay, so I'm glad I have my microphone on mute because I'm not crying, okay? I'm not doing it. I'm not going to cry on this episode, okay?
I can't believe I made it without crying.
Yeah, you did it.
Had me.
You did it because, girl, you a crybaby.
Oh, man, I love to cry. I'd be like, what?
Yes, I'm free. But thank you for those words as well. And also, give yourself grace has been a theme from all moms. I love it. I love it because obviously we are out here just killing the game and not realizing that we also need some grace. God gives it to us. Why can't we give it to ourselves? You mean?
Yep.
Okay. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
Listeners, there you have it. So Janiene, my last questions before you go. Is parenting challenging?
Oh my God. Yes. Very. And it is hitting hard for me right now.
This is the time, baby. And she's 12 too.
Man.
But are they still standing?
Yeah, we standing.
We gotta kneel to get up, but we doing it.
We are.
So what do you want to proudly shout to our listeners?
Y'all ready?
You ready?
This mama is nailing it.
Nailing it. I loved your energy, baby. Listeners, make sure, you know what? I'm going to address you more personal. Mamas, grandmas, villages, my people. Make sure you keep in touch with Janiene and everything that she is about. You can do that by visiting justiceforjoy.org. That is JUSTICE4JOI.org, and even visit her Facebook page. If you happen to be in Youngstown and you want your hair slayed to the gods, schedule an appointment on Facebook. Janiene Renee is who you're looking for. If you like this episode and you want to hear more personal parenting stories, subscribe to my social media, Nailed It Motherhood podcast on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok too, but I don't do too much. But you can follow us, and you follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to visit www.nailedmotherhood.com com. I had to make sure I spelled it right, but I did it. You can also be a guest on the podcast by completing a guest application. The link is in the bio. We welcome your questions, comments, and ideas, and we certainly hope to keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep on doing what it is you do. Smooches.
Bye now.